Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge Systems and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy. And about me, I'm Sandeep Bhushan and I take up the analysis of the Hindu newspaper, that is Daily News Analysis DNA of the Hindu, and it would be of today's, that is 26th March 2021. And throughout my session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the Hindu newspaper, wherein we will try to identify the factual, analytical and conceptual questions for the UPSC prelims perspective. And while you are in the mode of imbibing the keywords and the key phrases in your mains answer writing, so that your mains answers would be precise and concise. And once they are precise and concise, you will certainly score higher marks in the mains examination. So therefore, this session at AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis will certainly help you to crack both prelims as well as mains of 2021. And before we get into the DNA of the newspaper, we would be focusing at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day says that don't limit your challenges, but in fact, challenge your limits. So the main mantra for your success is don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits so that you will acquire or you will attain success. And now we will get into the DNA of the newspaper, and here we would be focusing on the keyword that is Collegium. So this is a keyword which is now crucial from UPSC perspective, both prelim as well as mains examination. And the Supreme Court has said that why there is no decision still, which the list has been sent by the Collegium to the government. And in turn, the Supreme Court on March 25th, 2021 has asked the government of India or the central government to clarify on the status of the 55 recommendations which were made by the Collegium for the judicial appointments to the various high courts in the country, which the recommendations were made by the Supreme Court to the government since almost 6 months to nearly a year and a half ago. That means since 1.5 years, 18 months or so, the Supreme Court is repeatedly sending recommendations which are made by the Collegium to the government for the judicial appointments to the various high courts in the country. But still, as this were pending, so now the Supreme Court is asking the government to clarify the status of the recommendations. And of the entire 55 recommendations which are pending, 44 were made to fill the vacancies, especially in the high courts such as Calcutta High Court, Madhya Pradesh High Court, Guwahati High Court, Rajasthan and Punjab High Courts. So the 44 recommendations were in regards to the judicial appointments to the high courts only in Calcutta, Madhya Pradesh, Guwahati, Rajasthan and Punjab High Courts. And what the Supreme Court has also mentioned about the kind of the strength which the high courts are running as of now is that it has mentioned the data that the sanctioned strength of the entire 24 high courts in the country is 1080. But the present working strength of the 25 high courts are just with 661 with 419 vacancies which are yet to be recruited as on March 2021. So this is the condition and the data which has been put forth by the Collegium to the Supreme Court, making the recommendations for the appointment of judges to the high courts, various high courts, that is almost to the 25 high courts wherein the sanction strength is 1080, but it is being run only with a strength of 661 and the 419 vacancies. And that is why now the Supreme Court has asked the government to come up with this status. And the court said that they can, or there is a possibility of appointment of ad hoc judges. So this is the keyword which you need to focus again, that the Supreme Court is asking that if in case there is no possibility of making the appointments permanent, so let there be an appointment of ad hoc judges. And appointment of ad hoc judges will not be a threat to the judicial services or to the services of other judges, because what the court says is the appointment of ad hoc judges will be treated as junior most. So there will not be any threat to the services of various other judges, because there is a need of the hour that the strength has to be in congruence with the number of cases which are pending in the various 25 high courts in the country. And this is the reason why the Supreme Court is emphasizing on the appointments of ad hoc judges. And why? Because it says that ad hoc judges will be treated as the junior most. So there will not be any threat to the other judges. And the Chief Justice also says that the appointment of ad hoc judges is provided in the, or it is enshrined in the Indian Constitution under Article 224A. And this is another keyword which is crucial for prelims perspective, that which among the following articles provides the appointment of ad hoc judges as per the Indian Constitution. It is Article 224 of A. Under Article 224 of A, the Chief Justice of High Court of any state can go ahead with appointing the ad hoc judges, but it should be with the previous consent of the President. And when there is a request that any person who has held office of the judge of that particular court or any other court to sit and act as a judge of the High Court for that state. So there is a specific provision which is mentioned in Article 224 of A, that the Chief Justice of High Court for any state with the previous consent of the President can request any person who has held the office of the judge or any other high court to act as a judge of that particular court for that particular state. So there is a very clear statement made by the Supreme Court that the status of the recommended or recommendations, 55 recommendations which was provided by the Collegium to the government has to be made clear, and there is a possibility that the appointment of ad hoc judges can take place, so that they would be looking into the pending cases wherein as of now the present working strength of the 25 high courts is only 661, and there is a necessity to appoint the ad hoc judges. And this is what the Supreme Court has made it very clear, that under Article 224A, which is enshrined in the Indian Constitution, can go ahead with appointment of ad hoc judges. And the court has also asked the representative of the government, that is K.K. Venugopal, to inquire with the Union Ministry of Law and Justice and come up with a statement on April 8th about the status of the recommendation, that is 55 recommendations made by the Collegium to the government for the appointment of judges to the various high courts in the country. And this is very crucial for polity perspective, UPSC, prelims as well as mains, because here I am reiterating the keyword which you need to focus as a civil servant aspirant is Collegium. And for the benefit of the civil servant aspirants, which is not mentioned in the newspaper, but there is just a keyword that which is sent by the list sent by the Collegium. So we will focus at what is Collegium and how the Collegium has come into existence, and how the government of India, that is now the government, has tried to make sure that the collegium system will be replaced by the National Judicial Appointment Commission. So there was a kind of approach made by the government of India to remove or replace or repeal the collegium system with the NJAC. Now we will focus at what is collegium system, and this is an additional information which I am providing for the conceptual understanding, which is crucial for prelims as well as mains examination. about collegium system. So this is a system under which there would be appointments, there would be elevations, there would be transfer of judges and lawyers to the Supreme Court and various high courts, and the Supreme Court are decided, that is, the appointments, elevations and transfer of judges to the Supreme Court and high courts are decided by a collegium, and that collegium consists of, or it is a forum of, the Chief Justice of India plus 4 senior most judges of the Supreme Court of India. So this is the collegium system, which looks into, or which takes into consideration of the appointments, I reiterate, elevation and transfer of judges and lawyers of various Supreme Court and High Courts, and which is decided by the collegium, that is a forum with the Chief Justice of India plus the 4 senior most judges of the Supreme Court. And the Article 124 of 2 mandates that, which is enshrined in the Indian Constitution, that the President to consult the judges of the court before the President, he or she, appoints a judge in this same court. So the article which talks about the appointment of the judges by the President is Article 124 of subclause 2. So this again is the keyword which is very crucial for prelims perspective. And we have also looked at Article 224A. So please do not get confused. There are 2 articles which we have focused in regards to the collegium, which has sent 55 recommendation for the appointment of judges in various high courts of the country. And in pertaining to that, Article 24A is in regards to the appointment of ad hoc judges. But when we talk about Article 124 of subclause 2, it mandates that the President to consult the judges of the court before appointing a judge to the same high court. And there were questions regarding the power and influence and of the term called as consultation. So here the key word which there was a wide questions which were popped up, that whether the word consultation is, how much does it attains the power and influence by the President to consult the judges of the court for the appointment of judge in the same court. So in regards to the various questions which were raised for the term called as consultation, for this there were various landmark case laws which have been provided by various cases, and that is called as 3-judge case. And again, this is very important for prelims as well as mains perspective. So now the collegium system is as per the 3rd-judge case or 3-judge cases. So we have the 1st-judge case which was between SP Gupta and Union of India, and then later on the 2nd-judge case, that is Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association versus Union of India, and the 3rd-judge case re-presidential reference. So these are the 3 landmark cases which have been into various scenarios, and it has spoken about, or it has focused at the term called consultation. And now the collegium system in regards to providing the list for the appointments, elevation and transfer of judges to this government of India is based on the 3 judges case. So I have focused on the 1st-judge case, 2nd-judge case, 3rd-judge case, which is just as an overview, but there is again in-depth analysis for each of the case, how this system has evolved, that the Collegium is the one which is held responsible for the appointments, elevation and transfer of judges to the High Courts and to the Supreme Court, which is decided by the Chief Justice of India and 4 senior most judges. So it is very imperative that you need to understand in depth about the collegium system for polity, both for prelims as well as mains examination, because I also mentioned that the collegium system, the government of India now wanted to replace it with NJAC, National Judicial Appointment Commission, but the Supreme Court has said that there is no need to repeal the collegium system and then come up with a new concept of the National Judicial Appointment Commission. Thereby now the government, now India is, or the for the appointments, elevation and transfer of judges, still there is the concept which is still prevailing in the judiciary is the collegium system. And now we will look at the another news in regards to the women officers in army. And for the women officers in army, it is the Supreme Court which is now supporting the women officers in army. And in turn, on March 25, 2021, the Supreme Court has held that the Indian Army's selective evaluation process discriminates against the disproportionately, and it affects women who are in short service commission officers who are seeking for the permanent commission. Please do understand here, you have the two commission, that is SSC, that is short service commission, and the permanent commission. And in these the women officers in the army who would wish to seek their services from SSC to the permanent commission are being discriminated, and this is happening in the army. And this selective or evaluation process of women from the short service commission to the permanent commission is discriminating against the women, and this is the statement made by the Supreme Court. And it said that the evaluation pattern of women officers from the short service commission to the permanent commission has caused them economic and psychological harm. So these two keywords are crucial for a better conceptual understanding about the impact of the selective evaluation process in Indian Army onto the women officers who would wish to seek from their services to be extended from short service commissions to the permanent commission has caused economic and psychological harm. There would be a question and then it would say evaluate or critically analyze. So you need to understand that how the system has actually come into existence, and various Supreme Court verdicts in regards to that women can be part of the permanent commission, and how the evaluation process in the Indian Army against the women officers has caused economic and psychological harm. And the court has also ordered in regards to the selective evaluation process that the cases of women officers who have applied for permanent commission should be reconsidered in a month, and the decision to be taken within or should be given to the court within 2 months. And it also mentioned that while the women officers are applying for the permanent commission from being in the short service commission, what the court also mentions that is the physical standards of the women officers should be kept as at a premium during selections. So the emphasis is certainly made by the court that women officers can be aiming or can apply for permanent commission, and in turn the selective or evaluation process in the Indian Army against to the women officers should be based on the physical standards. And it said that the court also said that the applications or for the permanent commission, the women officers who apply should be subject to disciplinary and to the vigilance clearance. So here what is crucial that the court is emphasizing that the applications or the women officers who apply for the permanent commission, the evaluation process should not be discriminatory against the women officers, and it should not impact the economic and psychological effect onto the women. But in turn, the court emphasizes that the selection process to the permanent commission for the women officers from the short service commission should be based on the physical standards for must, and it should be subject to disciplinary, and it should be subject to the vigilance clearance. So these three keywords are the one which are being underscored by the court for the women officers to be applied for the permanent commission. And the court also has founded some kind of flaw in the evaluation process, and it says that systemic and indirect discrimination is certainly being shown against the women officers while they are applying for the permanent commission. And even though it is sometimes seemed neutral on the face, but was founded on the structure of oppression and domination by the male in the army or Indian army, while the women officers who are applying for the permanent commission being in the short service commission. So the keywords are systemic and indirect discrimination is certainly seem neutral on the face, on the ground, but certainly it was founded that as per the court that the structure of oppression and domination is certainly is present in the promotion to the women officers for the permanent commission. So this is the court which has ordered to the army for the recruitment or for the selection of the women officers for the permanent commission. And there is another news which talks about US-India relations. And US has emphasized on the coordinated and better relations with India. And in turn, this has been signaled out by Joe Biden administration while there was a meeting with Chinese officials in Alaska with the US administration. And in that meeting, Joe Biden administration has highlighted the strength of US-India ties. And this is crucial because while there was a meeting by the US with the Chinese officials in Alaska, there was an highlight or a mention or underscore of the strength of US-India ties. And this has really caused a cause of concern to the Chinese officials that how come the US within just 2 months of the new administration of the Joe Biden administration in US has been trying to strengthen the ties with India, and that is certainly a cause of concern for Chinese officials. And Joe Biden administration has underscored that India is a central to the broader objectives in dealing with China, especially in the Indo-Pacific region. So why there is an highlight of the strength of US-India ties is because US feels that, or Joe Biden administration feels that India has a central point, because the US broader objective is to deal China, or to put a check and to put the command, or the way it is trying to expand in the Indo-Pacific region, to halt its expansion, that is China's expansion. Thereby, the US or the Joe Biden administration is certainly trying to strengthen the US-India ties so that it can deal effectively China in the Indo-Pacific region. So the strategic location for US is Indo-Pacific region. That is why it is certainly trying to strengthen the US-India ties, to put a check or to deal effectively China in the Indo-Pacific region. And the another reason is that the US or Joe Biden administration has highlighted the US-India relations in the meeting with the Chinese officials in Alaska, because there was a successful holding of the Quad summit recently, and that was on March 12th, 2021, and this Quad is between 4 countries, that is India, US, the US, Japan and Australia. And just 7 days, that is on March 19th, 2021, when the talks were between US, China in Alaska, US has raised that US and India relations are very cordial. And the another broader reason for smoothening the transition between India and US relation is the new administration which has come up after the Trump administration, that is Joe Biden administration. And the Joe Biden administration is emphasizing on 2 kinds or 2 methods, that is, one is the approach, that is bipartisan approach, dual approach to India or towards India, and the another one is its foreign policy issues. It deals very effectively so that there would be a smooth transition of India-US relations, so that it feels India is a central point, and it would, or US can certainly try to handle China effectively in the Indo-Pacific region. So this, you can take it as the international relations and the US-India relations. And also the another keyword is Indo-Pacific region, how it is strategically very important for US and China, and in turn US trying to deal effectively China and to control China in the Indo-Pacific region. And the Quad summit, that is quadrilateral summit between India, the US, Japan and Australia. And there is another news in regards to the DFI, and the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is emphasizing on the need of the DFI, that is development financial institutions. And she says that the development financial institutions is required for the next 25 years of the India's growth. And thereby, in Rajya Sabha on March 25th, 2021, the Rajya Sabha has cleared the legislation to establish NBFID, that is National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. So there would be a national bank, and this national bank would finance for infrastructure and development. So this is a new concept which has been announced by the finance minister in the budget speech, and she has announced that there is a necessity of establishing a national bank for financing especially the infrastructure and development. And this was, and that is the NBFID is the principal DFI, that is Development Financial Institution for Infrastructure Financing. So what is NBFID? NBFID is the principal Development Financial Institutions for Infrastructure Financing. So this is the concept what you need to understand, that what is the importance of announcing in the budget speech and establishing or clearing the legislation in Rajya Sabha to establish NBFID, that is National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. And this NBFID will act as a principal development financial institutions for infrastructure financing and for the entire development. So this is very crucial keyword which you need to focus for prelims perspective of UPSC. And in turn, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that NBFID is a need of the hour and need for the next 25 years. And she also said that the infrastructure which is part of the NBFID, which will be as a principal DFI, will not only fund the infrastructure development in regards to the roads, but it will also go ahead with funding the social infrastructure. This is the key word. That means the NBFID and the development fund infrastructure, or the kind of the development financial institutions which will act as a principal for the infrastructure development, will not only plan for funding the roads, that is infrastructure development, but it will also fund for the social infrastructure. So when the keyword social infrastructure is there, you need to emphasize or focus on how the government through the NBFID would fund the social infrastructure. That is, social infrastructure is, for example, like developing or infrastructure development for schools and hospitals. So there would be a necessity. That is why she said that NBFID is the need of the hour and the need of the next 25 years, wherein it emphasizes on the social infrastructure. That is like developing or coming up with the schools, new schools and hospitals. And she also said that the NBFID or the development financial institutions would be a professionally run body with only the government appointing chairpersons. So thereby the finance minister has made it very clear that this DFI will be a government appointing chairperson and it will be a professional body. And she also mentioned that the bill had or have all the safeguards which are being as a part of the provisions in the NBFID, that is National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development, so that the NBFID had to or will or should furnish to the center and the RBI. What it will furnish to the center and the RBI? It will furnish a copy of its balance sheets and accounts, so that there are all safeguards which are taken into consideration, that NBFID would work as a professional body and it will also have the government appointed chairperson, so that it would have the provisions to furnish a copy of balance sheets and accounts to the center and to the RBI. Thereby the social infrastructure, which is the need of the hour and need of the next 25 years, mentioned by the Finance Minister Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, would be a successful one, not only in regards to the construction of the roads, but also funding the social infrastructure. So this, as part of the economy, you can focus as the importance of NBFID and the DFIs, that is National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development, and the Development Financial Institutions for Infrastructure Financing. And I hope this was an informative, knowledgeable one and crucial for mains and prelims UPSC perspective. So I would say a very big thank you to all. Good luck to you all, and do maintain consistency, stick to your schedule and take care of your physical health and mental health. And Do not forget to like the video, share the video and subscribe the AKS IAS English Medium YouTube channel, and also have access to the website and to the Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy. And then see you tomorrow with the DNA, that is Daily News Analysis with AKS IAS Academy. Till then, thank you, goodbye, and then take care.